What's up, guys? So I'm going to go over something that I think very few people are actually discussing right now, and it's a warning sign in the markets, and that's the semiconductors. But before I go over this chart, if you wouldn't mind smashing the like button and subscribing to the channel, I'd greatly appreciate it. It helps it grow and helps me reach more people. Also, I have a Discord that I run, and the link's in the description below. If you want to join, it's completely free for right now. It eventually will be like paid portions of this, but if you would like to join for now, take advantage of it. It's completely free for right now. So ask questions, and in here I post my entries, exits, and my thoughts pre-market and throughout the day, what I'm doing and what I'm eyeing up. But let's get into the charts. So let's start this off on the monthly chart. I know there's still a lot of time. We have half the month yet to go. But you can see we're getting a rejection right there from our monthly cup and handle target. I just noticed this morning actually when I was going over some charts. And I think it further validates the fact that I'm looking for a short in some of this. But there's the cup, the handle, and that's the extension of the move. And not only did we reject, like we didn't just slightly sell off, you know what I mean? Um, Let me go to daily real quick. That was last Friday, and that's on the biggest volume this has seen since the lows. So this is going back 2 years. I think that's very substantial. You can't discard it. You can't throw it under the rug. I was listening to somebody else today talk, and they acted like it was no big deal because bulls keep buying the dip. Yeah, bulls can buy the dip, but look at that volume. That's huge volume on a reversal candle at a target. That's big money exiting. You can't sit there and ignore it. So you have to take that into consideration. That doesn't mean we can't push up higher, but that's definitely a big red flag in my book. So that's just something that further validates kind of what I'm looking at as far as the other stocks in consolidation. So going back to the weekly chart, now that I got that out of the way, you can see we're at an 80 RSI, and there's only one other time in decades that this has been higher, and that's right here. So we're definitely extended. We have the rejection, we have volume on the daily chart, and we hit the target. So it's starting to stack a bunch of confluence for further consolidation. That's also a rejection candle on the weekly. I was printing last week, and indecision basically though, but again, it's still a rejection. So we could definitely pull back on the semis, and that would, you know, bear weight to Nvidia pulling back as well as the other tickers. So I'm still trading those. I still have my SMCI put, and full disclosure, I'm read that position, and that was the intention was for anti FOMO. Let's see if I have this right here. So I'm down 22% on it right now. Um, if it hits my target, it's going to be a 30% trade. Nothing huge, but it was for anti FOMO. And then my game plan, like I discussed previously, was I'm going to add size once I get a really nice signal. I just did the same thing on Nvidia, or my original position I only made 10%, but then my second entry I made 52%. Um, it wasn't ideal, like I said in that video before. I didn't wait for my zone to hit, so I could have got a little bit better price. But I definitely think this is coming down still. So for anyone that's wondering, I'm still holding that position and trading around it. Um, some trades I took today. I didn't do anything with SMCI, but Nvidia. I scalped this. So basically, I was a little annoyed. I'm not gonna lie. I was posting in the Discord uh, pre-market and just said about the semis, and that I noticed that high volume, and that's another red flag that just adds to this thesis. And as I was saying before, that I was hoping that we'd get a gap up into towards the all-time high for Nvidia, and I could short against that, but they kind of took that away in the pre-market. So I noted that we had our hourly uptrends we had to watch, and I was hoping this would hold into the pre-market, and they didn't. They started dumping it. So they took that trade off the board, and I notified people in the Discord that we would try to play off this level. That's the only thing I could see is looking for a small bull scalp against that level. And we opened up, had massive volume on that 2 minute candle compared to yesterday. So I was going to wait patiently. But I saw, where was that at? 5 minute oversold, near the key level with bullish divergence. And basically what I was looking at is we had slight bull divergence right here. So on this green candle, it was just slight divergence, and I saw this 2-minute chart. They were buying the dips. There was a wick there. I saw this come down, start to wick up again, and I entered in just for a scalp. So I flipped that for 8%, and then we got this one down here. And just for anyone that doesn't believe me, right there it is. Nothing huge. It's just a scalp. Don't even really want to play this bullish, to be honest, just because I do think consolidation's really close, but it was the only trade they gave me in the morning. So, and I'm focused on this sector, so I was going to run over and find another trade. I'm really honed in on this, and the volatility's here, so it's time to make money. It was hard for me to post in the Discord just because that lasted a whole minute. Like I said, it was very fast, and then I re-entered on this one. This was less than a minute, but I just put in and out. Tried to give people, let them know what I was doing, even though it was a scalp. And my reasoning for that one was 41. That's right here on this. So I saw we came down to this zone, and like I said, that was just the hourly. So that was our hourly support. We were still oversold, not on a 2-minute chart anymore. Really, I think it was still a 5 though. So we were 5-minute oversold coming into this, and I just entered, expecting the bulls to try to defend that, and we wicked, tried to push up again, flipped that for 10%. And then I posted in the Discord about that might actually hold. It didn't hold, but it didn't get much more follow through. And I said about there goes the hourly uptrend. So now we can just chop around because we took out the key support. We went from establishing an hourly uptrend to right there. We got our high, higher low, higher high, and we came down, smashed it. Didn't get much follow through, but now we're setting a lower high, so we could chop around here. And it's not really where you want to start trading once you get in this kind of area, because we can go in any direction. They'll just chop up your account. So this is the easier setup. You know what I mean? Like, to establish where you want to short, get that first flush down, try to get a bounce trade, but they didn't get hourly oversold, which is what I typically shoot for. Get the bounce trade up, reshort against the highs, and then, like I said, this was a scalp, but the tighter you get, the harder it gets to trade. So I'm not trading this anymore unless we break to a new high. I'm focused right now on SMCI. And if this does happen to shoot to a new high, like I said, it'll still have bearish divergence. One thing with this as well is the volume just keeps getting lower. You can see today's volume was even lower than yesterday's. So again, it just feels like it's a wedge. And we're getting towards that apex, the S&P 500 inclusion, the conference. I think it's going to be a sell the news event. And that's the way I'm playing this. So I'm day trading around it. I'm still green on the week. I went 6 for 7 as far as day trades this week, and one loss was less than 0.1%, so it's negligible. This is a red trade right now, though, but the intentional, like I said, was for anti-FOMO and to add a sizable second position when I get a better signal. So I'm just going to wait patiently till I get something that I think is really good. We could pop to a new all-time high. Like I was saying yesterday, that we have price targets for 1300 and 1350. So definitely could continue to push. I think they just had an upgrade today as well. Yeah, 1280. So there's multiple upgrades up here. So 1280, 1300. I think the other one's 1350. So it's just slight upgrades. Who's to say really where this goes? But yeah, like I said, we have bearish divergence on the daily. Weekly's almost at 95. Weekly gap. You know the spiel if you've followed any of these videos lately. I'm definitely looking for this to consolidate still, so I'm just gonna wait and I'll day trade other things that I think are better. I don't want to day trade this stock. I hate it. The way it moves, it's not as easy for me to try to get a read on the price action on the smaller time frames. And Nvidia can definitely pay me, so it's in the same sector. I'm just gonna trade that. I am eyeing up some really good long-term plays to the bull side, but I'm waiting for a little bit better of entry, and I want the market as a whole to consolidate. If it does, um, the one I'm looking at right now is Tesla. Just gonna pull this up real quick. It's not daily oversold, so my original target was 170, but that was before this nonsense. We kind of cooled it off over here, came down. We weren't oversold anymore, so I think we're getting close to a really good price. I haven't done any analysis on this, but obviously you can see I have a pivot here from the low and down here. So my thoughts on how I'm going to tackle Tesla going into the future, not now. Like I said, I wouldn't even touch this until the market consolidates, and the market will consolidate. On average, we get a 10% correction at least. I think it was like 1.1%, or sorry, we get 1.1 10% corrections every year. So one is definitely coming, and that's a big correction. And that's just going to add more downward pressure here. So the saying is, I know I'm rabbit trailing here a little bit here, but the saying is semis lead tech, tech leads the market. And like I said, if you look at SMH, that was the highest volume we've seen in 2 years at the highs, at a target. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to realize some big player took money right there. You know what I mean? So I think it's significant, and it's definitely a cause of concern. Whether that trickles into the market right away remains to be seen, but yeah, I think it's pretty important. And this is what I'm eyeing up in the future, Tesla. So give it a couple weeks here. If we get down anywhere in between 150 and 100, my way I'm tackling this, I'm not going short term with this. I'm actually going to buy leaps, if not 2 years out on calls, and use it as an investment pretty much and just accumulate. That's my game plan. I think they had price target downgrades today. Yeah, lowers price target to 165. It's not good news for the stock. It's already bearish in a bull market, so once the market pulls back, this thing's gonna get hammered. But the reason I'm looking at this long term is the robotics, not a car company. I think a lot of people are discounting that. So this whole AI hype and Tesla's being left in the dirt, I think that this is the one people are sleeping on. And I want to have a position here, and I want to make it my biggest position going forward in the next couple of years. As far as an investment, like I said, but I'm going to use calls. So I'll go a year, if not 2 years out, just to get a little bit more leverage. And I'm going to start accumulating once the market does. So although I'm saying like 150 to 100, I'm not touching this thing really until the market consolidates, because I know it's inevitable and the market is hot. It's really extended at this point. I think there was only one other time in history where it's gone on a longer bull run on a weekly chart. And I think that extended out where if it replicated it, we would go until the beginning of fall. But I just can't see it, to be honest. This higher for longer with rates, I think people are playing with a lot of hope. The market was pricing in 7 rate cuts, then it turned to 4, then 3. It keeps getting less and less. Yeah, at some point, it's going to break the straw on the camel's back. So yeah, this is just kind of like an overview. Like I said, I explained the trade I did earlier in Nvidia for scalps. Ideally, what I want to do in the Discord, I'm not there yet. I post everything in the free trading floor. So my pre-market analysis, what I'm looking at throughout the day, like I said, I'm posting charts and trying to update everyone in here and what I'm doing. I was done trading by the way, where was that? Yeah, not even 11 o'clock, so an hour and a half. So ideally, I would post those scalps, not post them, but say them in the live room. I'm not there yet. To be honest, I've never done anything live, and it's going to be its own stepping stone for me. But that way, people can know what I'm doing right then and there, because I know it takes time for me to type it, time for people to read it, and everything matters as far as lag. So Um, I try to only post things that are like more significant of a move, like longer term, like at least 30 minutes, an hour, days, weeks, whatever. But I posted this one ahead of time, so I felt like I should tell people that I actually did play it and show like how it worked out for me, how I played it. Like I just scalped the bulls trying to buy that. I wasn't intending for us to go to all-time highs or anything. It was a scalp, and that's why I posted that. That you would probably want to play off that key level just because we had bullish divergence. We were oversold coming into a level where bulls were going to try to defend it, and yeah, ended up being a pretty solid day. So, so going into tomorrow, I think I'm just going to sit on my hands. I'm not going to trade because Nvidia is getting tight, and I'm going to keep a close eye on SMCI because I want to get my second entry in here and make it aggressive with the size and maybe time too. But I want it to tell me it's ready to go. So I'm just going to focus on that the rest of the week. We have PMI data coming out tomorrow at 8:30. So that could move the markets pre-market. Um, we'll see what opportunity shows itself tomorrow. But for right now, this is where my focus is going to be. That might change, just like today I had to audible and change on Nvidia. I wanted to short that so bad against that high, but they took it off the table pre-market. So you can see there was like a 5% move, I think it was, maybe 6. Yeah, 5.5% move. And they just took it away, and all I did was get little scalps off options. So yeah, I'm still bearish this. I just don't want to trade it. It's getting tight. So yeah, I don't really want to play that. Like if we break this, I can see this holding still. We have a conference. So for right now, like I said, I'm just gonna sit on my hands, wait for a sign or signal on SMCI. Right now, the most important level would be on the 4-hour chart. So it would be that low that we just made today. It's a low day today. So bulls would want that to hold. Like we can defend this down here, but ultimately you want that to hold, tighten up, try to push to a new all-time high. And I'm gonna be honest, I hope they do push to an all-time high because I want to short this. I just don't like it right here. It's in the middle of the range. You can see with the fibs, we're right at the 50, so not a good place to really mess with this. I mean, what you could do is, and I'm not doing this, but what you could do is do a straddle with options and play the break. But right now we're not tight enough to really even do that. Could go sideways for a little while, so and it'll burn premium. So for right now, I'm not doing anything with Nvidia. I knew the only thing I wanted to do really was short, but then today I was like, yeah, I could play off that hourly higher low level. We were oversold and try to scalp a little bit there. So for now, I'm done this chart. And SMCI today, this is why I don't day trade this nonsense because that was our hourly higher low, came up, pushed down, broke it. So then pushed to another high. It's being artificially inflated by this ETF buying, so unreliable to trade right now for scalps. But as far as my thesis, I think it stands true. Like I said, the volume's getting extremely low, so I'm gonna definitely be watching this. And like I said, semis had the highest trading volume. So if you look at Nvidia, that's already what I believe is either putting in a longer term top for weeks, months, if not at least for short term. I mean, obviously it is for right now, but semis are starting to give a red flag. So um, I'm gonna continue to eye up a short trade in this with size, and then see what tomorrow brings. Maybe there's a different trade I, have to take because of the pre-market PMI comes out and messes up my thoughts right now as far as what I'm trying to do. So, but if I have to audible tomorrow, I'm just gonna post that in the Discord. So if you want to join, like I said, it's completely free, and then you can get my thoughts and what I'm trying to do for the day. Um, I'm for the most part remaining patient right now because, like I said, Nvidia is getting tight, and this I'm trying to nail a pretty nice short. So, um, might be done trading for the week, to be honest. Because the second entry I make on SMCI is not going to be small. But that's it for tonight. I just wanted to do a brief overview of what I'm doing with this now, what I kind of did today with my trades, and what I noticed in SMH as far as what I think is a major red flag. And like I said, some people I've talked to that I actually respect and traded with, they threw it under the rug like it was no big deal. It's like that definitely matters. You can't say at the lows when it has huge volume that's climax bottom and not consider this as a potential climax top when it's the highest volume in 2 years. So I'm not a perma bear and I'm not a perma bull. I play both directions. Some people only play bull. So that's all I have for tonight. And until next time, I wish you guys the best in the markets.